Hello, welcome back to Made by Amanda Mal. I'm Amanda and I make stuff. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a crochet artist. I mostly make amigurumi plushie type items that I sell at market events and online. And if you guys have been around to see some of my market vlogs, you know that I usually have a part of my display where I have a wire cube set up. I love putting these plushies in these wire cubes. I have a bunch of them so I can make different arrangements with the wire cubes. And a very common question that I get asked on my market vlog videos is how do I make my cubes foldable? Because some of you have seen me unpack them and repack them, and I'm able to fold them flat by using the method that I use. And this is how I transport them. And then when I get to my market events, I add some zip ties and they're pretty much like ready to go and ready to be set up. And I found that this is a way easier and way quicker process than using these like little corner pieces that the cubes actually come with. These are intended to be put in all of the little corner sections of the cubes. And the first time I set up cubes at my market event, I did use these, and I'm not even kidding, it took like an hour to set up the cubes. It was so brutal. They were popping off all the time. So now I use zip ties to make my cubes foldable and set them up and break them down. I have showed how I do this in a different video. I don't even remember what vlog it was in, so I figured I would make a separate video showing you guys how I do this. Mine are looking a little wonky anyway, so I need to redo them anyway. I cannot take original credit for this idea. I think the first person that I saw this from is Katie Being Creative, and I couldn't even tell you what video I saw it in hers. So here's a new video for us so we can reference back, and thank you, Katie, for this idea. So I'm going to start by taking off all my old zip ties that I have. I like to use a box cutter. Please be careful with this process and cut away from you. And while I am taking my cubes apart so that I can redo them, I need to tell you guys some crazy news that I got the other day. You are never going to believe this. So I am in the middle of prepping for one of my biggest events of the year. I have a May event coming up next weekend, and after that I don't have too many events going on. I have like a night event that I had booked for June, and that was pretty much it. So yesterday I get a call from the event organizer for this June event, and she leaves me a message and she says that she needs to talk to me. And I'm like, oh no, what could be up with that? I had already paid for the event and everything, so I wasn't sure what that would be in reference to. So I give her a call back and she says, I have some really upsetting news. I'm like, oh my gosh, what? And she proceeds to ask me if I had heard about the chaos that occurred at like another local event over this past weekend. I'm like, no, I didn't hear about it. What happened? And that is when she shared with me. She was like, you know, we had this same problem in the area last year. At this event over the weekend, there were these mobs of juveniles, 300 to 400 juvenile, like teenage kids on bikes and everything, just running through the event and causing chaos. Like, I don't know if they were like attacking people or what the intention was, but it was bad. Like, it was really bad. People were injured at the event, and I think one kid even got hit by a car. So it was pretty serious, and it was not the first time that this situation has happened in the area with these kids just causing chaos. And she said that the townships are so worried about the safety of it this year that some are requiring places to like cancel their events, because they think that even with security, it's really not going to be a safe situation for people. And I can't say I blame them, honestly. Like, after she told me this story, I was like, oh my God, well, I don't really want to be there anyway. So I'm so sorry to like hear that. Like, that's crazy. And she said, long story short, like the event is canceled and we're going to be refunded our vendor fees and everything like that. But I just like could not believe this story. Now I'm very nervous about my event next weekend, my big event coming up. Hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing gets canceled for that. And also hopefully we are all safe, you know. I feel like hopefully we will be good to go, because I mean the security at this event, they block off like every street. I mean, you cannot get down a single street without like police being there and blockades being there. So I don't really know where a giant mob of kids would be able to necessarily get through. I don't know. I'm just hoping for the best. I'm a little nervous, but please let me know in the comments if you've ever dealt with similar situations or if you've ever heard of similar scenarios, because this is the first that I'm hearing of it. And again, not really sure how to take that and how to handle that and what to do about that. So, okay, I cut off all of my old zip ties. I'm not gonna lie, that was like a little bit more than I had remembered having on them. And now we're going to reset them up. We have all of them here. I'm gonna do just a like 4 cube setup, but you can use this method and set up more. It should work the same way. I'm using these clear zip ties. I want to say I got them on Amazon, depending on the color of your cubes. Mine are white, so I like to use clear or white zip ties so it doesn't like stand out. But if you have other colored cubes, you could get other colored zip ties, obviously. These are the ones I like. And now we are just going to get started. So how the basis of this works, where could I put these so that you could see? You basically just build the outline of the cubes, and then when you get to your event, you can set up the additional cubes with additional zip ties, and when you leave, you just cut those specific zip ties, and theoretically, it should all be like foldable again. Start with your exterior cubes first, like not your middle shells, because the middle shells are gonna be what needs to collapse to make it foldable. Let me kind of move so you can see what's going on here. I haven't done this like setup process in a while, so. Okay, so I'm gonna start with like these 3 sides like this and put these together with my zip ties. Okay, so we have this basic shape set up. Now I'm gonna add the cube next to it. Okay, now I'm gonna start adding the second layer of cubes. Man, I'm trying to build my cubes, it's not for you. Okay guys, we have our outer framework built for our 4 cubes. So there will be 2 cubes here, 2 cubes down here, and this is the outer framework. So all of these zip ties you will never need to touch. My recommendations would be to add them kind of loosely at first before you figure out how everything is going to fold together, and zip tie like at all of the corners. I definitely could have done this with less zip ties because I started adding zip ties to the middle, and that doesn't really hold them together well. You need to be adding them to the corner, like here, 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 here. You know what I'm saying? That kind of a thing. Okay, now we're going to add the top and the middle pieces. And these will be the foldable pieces that you are going to need to add zip ties to and remove the zip ties from when you get to the event. I did just use a lot of zip ties, so hopefully I have enough to maybe just show you guys the folding parts. So when we add our middle pieces, I am only going to attach 2 zip ties to the back so that it folds like this. I'm gonna put one in this corner and one in this corner, and those will be zip ties that you don't need to move. And then when you get to your event, you'll just fold this up like this, and all you'll need to do is attach 2 zip ties to the front corners to hold this middle shelf in place. And then when you're done your event, you just cut those 2 zip ties and it folds back down like that. And we're gonna do the same thing to the top. We're just gonna add 2 zip ties on these corners right here. And again, when we get to our event, we will just add 2 zip ties here to hold up the top. And then when we're done, we can cut those and it'll all fall flat. And I'm gonna do the same thing to this side. Okay, now we have all of our zip ties added except the ones that we need for the actual setup. So theoretically, when it's set up, you know, it'll look like that. I'm not gonna add the extra zip ties right now because I don't have any left. So now we're gonna have the moment of truth and see if everything will fold flat. And I know I still have all these little hangy pieces. We're gonna see if it folds, and then we can go back and cut these and tighten all of our little areas just a little bit. You don't wanna make them too tight because it's still gonna need to like fold and the wire is gonna need to move around a little. And this might take a little maneuvering to find out like what is the best folding method. But there you go. That's pretty flat. This is like pretty flat, and this is how I will put it in my car. And then when I set it up on the table, watch this, ready? I go bam, 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 bam. And it's like pretty much ready to go. We just add our little zip ties to the top and the middle. This has saved so much of my prep time. And now I'm just gonna go through and cut all of these extra little zip tie pieces with a scissor. But hopefully you guys found this helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments. I love absolutely anything that will make my business life a little bit more convenient. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.